Hi everybody, welcome to Free Code Camp. I am Sam from Python Basics, and this video we are going to be looking at the TD Ameritrade APIs, and we are going to be going from start to finish, dropping in some pandas. It has everything, JSON objects, how to dig into and build your own stock screener. So what is an API? An API is an application programming interface. So basically what that means is, all right, we know you are going to want information from us. We're going to control how you get that information. We're going to make it a little bit easier, and then we're going to get it to you. And we'll go through all these steps. So first off, I think I've made this a little challenging. So behind me, so for you, the register is going to be where you're going to want to start. And also it's developer.tdameritrade.com. Fill this in, and of course then after you do it, the login is right beside there. So I'm going to go ahead and, well actually we can even look at this. So this is getting started. So first you have to create an account. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create an app, and we'll so my apps. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. So all right, here we are getting started. Creating a developer account, then new apps. So right here, when you go to My Apps, there's going to be Add a Button, and you just name it. The only thing that is very important right here is the callback. You can just do the HTTP localhost :8000, and that's all you need, not anything fancy. So we get that set up, and the verification process goes very quickly. So if you saw that right there, new app when you get to this place. And here is mine, and there's going to be a couple of blurred things out here. But this is going to be your key right here. And we're going to go through all of this. And we have that set up. Yes, right here. HTTP localhost 8000. I'll have that down in the description below. If you're not quite sure, if you've not seen the Django series and you have no idea what this is referring, you can just copy this and place this in here. So all right, now the APIs that we're going to be working with are instruments, and this is how this data is going to be returned. And we're going to go through all this, but right now this is just a little warm up, and then you can actually then choose, and we'll go through all this type of data. I know this can be overwhelming right now, but real quick video today, and actually tomorrow's video is going to be a challenge video. That is a challenge that you'll run into when we do this. So, and then we'll pick back up tomorrow and then the following week, and we'll just delve into this, and we'll go slowly but surely like we always do. And today we're going to be looking at all of the different APIs that the TD Ameritrade have to offer. And also after that, we're going to have the answer for our challenge 8. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and if it's the type of video you like, go ahead and hit that like button for me. And also make sure you're staying tuned until the end to watch right here, because over 800 videos, there's a good chance that you may not have seen all of them. So all right, let's just get into it. So the APIs that Ameritrade has for us are pretty impressive, and after we get done, I'll show you the one that we're going to be using next. All right, so accounts and trading. So I'm only going to be showing you stock data, but everything that I'm going to be showing you, you can extrapolate out and use for any of these. And I was posed, the reason why I'm saying that specifically is I was posed the question, am I going to be showing you how to make a trading bot? No. One, I don't want to be liable for anything like that, but two, I want you to understand and see this and really kind of get you interested in investing, not in trading. So there we go. All right, but here are the accounts. Here are the APIs of how to trade, place an order, cancel an order. You have your authentication token right there. Here's the instruments. And most of these, as you'll see, especially like markets, and I'll show you another way, you're going to have a single. You're going to have one for a single search, and then multiple searches. So you can look at the multiple markets, because there are many markets around the globe, not just the NYSE and the NASDAQ. Then you have the movers, which are companies, stocks that are making big moves in one day. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. And also, I am going to have the solution, or a solution, to our Challenge 8 after we get done, after I announce which API we're going to be using. Option chains. So options are a tool that you can buy, and it locks you in and gives you the option to purchase a share at a certain price. Price history, that's pretty explanatory. You can go back in time, and any length of time in any interval. Quotes, of course, then you can go and get single quotes, multiple quotes. Then you have your transaction history, user information, and watch lists. So you can then create an actual lists of things that you want to watch that you don't then have to go and check every day. This is very handy, and it can even go in and do multiple accounts. So all right. So the one that we are going to begin using and interact with the most is going to be our search instruments, and each API has its own address. Very useful. So now let's deal with our Challenge 8. So there is a limitation to our queries. It is a max. Actually, I found that 500 worked. So I don't know what the max is. I think I toyed around with it. I think 600 fails, so it's somewhere between 500 and 600. So 500, real easy round number. So let's just go ahead and look at our solution. So let's just say, and then let me get my notes. And so, all right, our dilemma was we have 5,456. So we're going to start at 0, then end, and end at 500. So we're going to cycle through 500. So while end less than X, then print start, end, hey, is somebody in there? Okay, good. I want to make sure it wasn't Calvin. And then now, here's the part. So all that would happen is right now, I would just go and it would print 0 and 500 repeatedly, because I'm not changing. So now after we print it, this is the coolest one that I think I remember. So I'm going to just reassign. Then I'm going to add to my endpoint, I'm going to increment or in place. All right, so let's see how I did. All right, so now I'm close, but I have a dilemma right here. So now I'm outside the loop. Start equals end. Then I'm going to minus 500. Then my new end is X. And print, start, and end. So boom. So here I go. I have 0 through 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500, so on, all the way through to the end. It is literally that clean, that simple, and I will show you how to integrate this into our queries, and we're going to use all of the tools that we've used so far, and it's quite interesting. And then we're going to really delve into some very cool stuff with pandas. And we're continuing our series with the Ameritrade API. So I said last video on this subject that we are going to be using the instruments. So let's just go ahead and familiarize ourselves with this. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos, one video upon a time, micro videos, and we build upon it. So we are doing our series on the Ameritrade APIs, and we're looking at the one API that we are going to be concentrating on. So the search instruments. And the way that this API works is here's actually the web address right here for it. And the way that this works is you're going to pass in your key. Oops, here we go. Your key. Then the symbol that you might be interested in. We'll just do Boston Scientific. And then now here is the way in which you're going to look at it. So let's just peek over here. So for the bonds like this, stocks, fundamental data, and then the instrument search. So in the projection, we're going to type in fundamental, and then, whoops, I guess I spelled it wrong last time. Fundamental, the actual returns the fundamental data of a single stock instrument. And if we wanted to, we could pass in more than one, but let's just go ahead, send this off, and look back at it. So here we go. Here is all of the information associated that with this API returns. It returns the symbol, and as you can go through, you can see all these tags. And as if you look very carefully, this is a dictionary. So key value pairs, and it has a tremendous amount of data. And in a couple videos, we're gonna touch on how the type of information this is, and how to then begin to extract it, and then place this into a pandas data frame and really start crunching this stuff down. Today we're going to be continuing our series for the Ameritrade API. I'm going to be kind of branching a little bit off of it. So we're beginning to build and extend our knowledge and understanding, and really our access. So really what I want to do today is, one, so you don't have to have it around, don't need to retype it, copy it. We're actually going to talk about how to handle keys. So as you can see right here, I have a keys.py. And that is actually because I don't want to have to blur and forget and go through and scroll and keep my key guarded so you can't see it. And it's really a good practice. So from keys, but if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos, one video upon another. And I actually have the key just named Ameritrade. Ameritrade. And as you can see right there, Spider knew what I was doing, and then now the only error I have is saying it's brought in, but it's not used. So now I don't have to worry about you guys seeing it. I can place it in where I need to use it and move on from there. This is an outstanding, actually it's best practice. So you're going to have multiple places that you're going to go, and you just place it in the same file so you won't have to lose track. Now, like I've always said, don't ever delete anything. Now you can start organizing these things at a time, because you're gonna start spreading your wings out, and going places and using multiple APIs where you're going to have multiple keys. So now you store them all in one place, title it the tool that it is, and place it in your keys.py or whatever, config py, however you want to do it. But this is best practice, and I thought this was a perfect place to add this into our toolbox. So there we go, guys. So, all right, let's just go ahead and get after it. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos. So last video, actually I guess 2 videos ago, we talked about which API we're going to be using. And we're going to be using the instruments for multiple tickers, but today we're just going to be doing one right now, because what we're going to be focused on today is the actual response, because we need to start unpacking that. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos. We do one video at a time, and we build upon it. So here is our dilemma symbol. Actually, we'll leave that. So, all right, here is our key right here. Here's our address, and this is how it works. So we're just going to do our payload. Then here's our dictionary that we're going to be passing in. So our API key. Then it's our Ameritrade. And then come down. Then our symbol. And we're just going to pass it, let's pass it Google. Yeah, let's see, did I do that right? Is that Google symbol? Yeah. All right. And then how do we want it, what kind of information we wanted? And I said we were going to load the projection. We want that to be the fundamental. All right, so we're done with this. So now results, and I just realized I have left out, because we have left out a ton right here. So import requests. All right, and that's all we need right now. Yep, requests. So then requests.get. Then what are we going to use? We're going to use our, this is where we're going. And what are our params? And we're going to pass it payload. All right, so now we need to really look at, we haven't really delved into what in the world comes back and ways in which to look at it. So here's our response. So let's look at dir on results. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at today is a JSON object. And this is how we're going to begin to unpack this. So you can, we can see results, then text. Okay, so that's that. So here it is as a string. Okay, then that's, okay, so then I got to go in and get stuff, or I can turn this into, so now I just get the whole object. So now I use a JSON, I pull the JSON object out, and I can go through and I know how to unpack this dictionary right here. So I have a dictionary, then a dictionary inside that, and then here we go with the symbols. So, and all of the information, 52-week high, 52-week low, PE ratio, PEG ratio, which is, I am a huge believer in the PEG ratio, and we'll break down the ones that I truly believe. But there we go. This is the building block of where we're going to go from here, and we're going to add all of the things that we've done before, especially our loop of how to handle 500. I can't remember if we're doing that one next or if we're doing no. Next video we're going to be handling something very interesting. It's going to become handy, but we'll do that later. So there we go, guys. Please, please, please drop any comments, questions, video requests. Make sure you're joining that Discord server. If you're brand new here, I don't want you feeling alone. Somebody's on over there at all times. I have an admin and a moderator. We are literally around the globe. So join up there. Somebody's always on answering questions. So, all right. Here's our main layout, but we want to test all of the ticker symbols. So let's just go ahead and bring this in. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos. We break them down one at a time and build upon them. And probably the reason why I love that so much is because that is one of the subscribers' ways to describe it. So we have a pretty large growing community, especially over on Discord. So if you are learning Python alone, go ahead and join the server, and you will not be. We have usually somebody on over there answering questions all the time. So, all right. If you haven't seen before, this is also this file is on my GitHub, so you can go and grab it and pull it down. Let's see, company list. It's saying, what is it saying? I'm not using it. Oh, all right. I need to bring in, import pandas as PD. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this spreadsheet, and then what I want to do is I want to then grab only these symbols. So we're going to do this too. Symbols. If I can spell today. But I hope everybody is doing well. All right, so then in that file, there is a column named symbol, and we're just going to grab that. And then what we're going to do is I only want the values of that, and then I want that put into a list. So we are covering a lot of things right now that pandas can do for us. So I'm grabbing this, and then I don't want this put into a pandas series. I only want the values, and then I only want that to be put into a list, and it's going to be assigned then to symbols. So, all right, so now I have where I'm going. Now let's throw in all of this right here. All right. Now, we ran into a problem last time where I had expressed that there is a problem where we can only screen 500 at a time. I've learned, I don't know exactly what the number is, but I know 500 works, so we are just going to do that. So now we need to do this in a loop, and we've done this loop before. So while, also, let me get this around. So we need our starting point equals 0, our end equals 500. So, whoa. So while, now there was also a flaw in the way in which I did this. We could do this one more time outside the loop and print, but we're going to use this while start is less than, And we also need to do len of, no, we don't have it. Yeah, len of symbols. Because what we're doing is here's our list of symbols, and we're going to then iterate through these 500 at a time. So as long as start is less than the end, we're going to do this one more time. So let's bring this all over. And then now we're going to make a new one right here, tickers, because this is going to change. So then we're going to symbols, then our start through stop, or excuse me, end, and we're going to change this right here to tickers. All right, then when we get done, we need to then increment up. Start is going to be now end, and then end is going to be 500 larger than before. All right, let's do that again. So I know I've just changed a lot. So we brought in our symbols. This is all of the symbols of all of the NASDAQ and all of the NYSE. It's going to be 5,456. All right, so we also know that there is a problem where this API will only, well, it will at least, I don't know only, it will at least search for 500 at a time. So now we're going to check 500 at a time, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through. Now I think we're about at a good stopping point right here, and we'll pick up on this next video because I know I just dumped a lot on you. So, but right here we're going to iterate through, and the reason why we chose start is so we don't have to do a loop, because if we did end right here, we would then have to do this one more time outside of this, and I don't want you to have code here. I remember the first time I tried this, I had code here and then code here. It was the same code but accomplishing the same task. So then it dawned on me I could just change start from end, because you can have your endpoint be larger than what are the choices. You just can't have the start be out of index. All right, I'll say that one more time. You can have your end out of index range, it won't care, but you cannot have your start be out of index range. So there is a nice little tidbit. So there we go, guys. So where we left off was we changed this over. We brought in all our tickers right here. We changed out our API to multiple, because before it was Google, G-O-O-G. But now we have this where I've also shared you the pain that I know we can check 500 at a time. So right now we are going to be looping through these in 500. We're going to increment, we're going to iterate over our symbols, and it's going to be tickers, and we're going to be doing 500 at a time. Now, we need to then capture this data and go through it and then come back and revisit it. So we're going to pickle these responses and come back and touch them later. So we're going to do this now. Then we kind of need to deal with a couple of things. So we're going to add in time, because we're going to need to pause this, because if you have a fast computer, we're going to grab time and use that as our file name. If you've seen how to handle changing multiple characters, that's actually where this came to be. And automating file names, that's also where this came to be, this problem that I have. And then we're going to use regular expression, if I can type correctly, regular expression to change all of the problem characters that Windows does not like to have file names named all at one time. So all right, so let's just go ahead and get at it. So we have our results. Now we also looked last time at how to look at JSON coming back. So we're going to take our data, then it's going to be results.json. All right. Then now we need to then save this file. So our file name is equal to time dot. So what this is going to do is it's going to spit out the time down to the second, because we don't want date, because that's not differential enough. And then if you have a very fast computer, it may have, this took me a while to realize why I was missing data. I was getting all these back, so we're actually going to pause 1 second in just a minute. All right, so let's do that. Then we need to add our pickle file, .pkl, and I just realized we also need to bring in pickle. Didn't do that yet. So if you've not seen and you not sure exactly what any of these are, you can go back and search all of these. I've done videos on every single thing. Nothing is new here yet. And actually, I don't think anything is going to be new here at all. We're just cramming it all together. So now we have, all right, let's see where we are. So we've got our data, we've got our file name. Now, to save you a little bit of pain, there's going to be two things that Windows is not going to like. It's not going to like the space in between the time, and it's not going to like the colon in between the time. So we're going to change this. Name equals substitution, then space, then colon, then close out. And we're going to replace it with underscore. And what are we going to be replacing? File name. There we go. So, all right. So there we go. Let's go through this one more time. So our data, then that's our JSON object. Here's our automated file creation. Then we need to replace the space and the colon in the file name because Windows will not like it. And then now we're going to create the file and then dump the data in. So here we go. With open file name. Oops. There we go. As, oh, nope, right. I'm going to close that out. As file. Then pickle dot dump, not jump, dump data, comma, file. All right. Now, yeah, file. Yes, file. All right, so here we go. Let's just go ahead and get this running. And let me just show you as this occurs, we're going to be now having the files show up and come through. Oops. Haha. If you add two T's, it does not know what you're talking about. All right, so we need to fix this. I did not reference this. Import pickle as PKL. Sorry, guys. Hopefully that will be the last mistake that I've done. But these are all the type of things that you're going to make mistakes on, and you become very, very proficient at understanding the code. This is why typing is so very, very important. So, all right. Oh, man, I meant to have these sitting here and popping. So, boom. This worked out, I think, but let's just also make sure we do time dot sleep just for 1 second. I forgot to have that in there. just in case. I think I'm a little bit slow today. Let's see. Yeah, I'm eating up a lot of RAM. So let's just make sure. I realized that we didn't. I think I lucked out. I got a lot of programs open. So make sure you're putting sleep 1 second right here to make sure that you're not going to have and miss any file names, because that is exactly it. As you can see right here, boom, each second apart. And if I were to close some programs, I got a lot of stuff running right now. I could have missed some files, but as you can see, this is down to the second, and that's what you want, because you need all of the entire time, or your files will have the same file name, and you'll have a problem, and you'll start losing data. So that is why time is very handy. Now, if you want to do more and you want to come up with specific file names and increment, that's great. I always go the easiest route, and time was the first thing that came to me. So there we go, guys. So where we left off last time is we had a bunch of pickled files right here. So now we need to figure out how to extract and merge all this information here. So if we really think about it, we need to find out what files we want, or we could track the files that we are creating right here, or right here, and then we have our variable name right here. So we could do something like this. As we create them, we could then add them to our files list and just append file f name. The reason why is because then the next step that we're going to do is we need to look and see. Let's go ahead and rerun this. We now need to see how in the world we're going to pull from all of this stuff that we have, and how in the world are we going to use it. And you'll see that, yes, it is a dictionary after we grab it as a JSON, but it's not the most user-friendly dictionary that you may have seen before. So I'm going to show you a little template. So let's see, len of results, I think is, that's right, len of its data. There we go. So let's see, is this, all right. So let's grab the keys. Data, let's see, you can see that. All right, so here are all the keys. So let's just grab one of them. Data UGP. I don't even recognize that ticker symbol. All right, so holy moly. Okay, so we have inside this, then we have our fundamental, then inside that, it then has a key of symbol. Aha. Okay. So we need to then unpack the fundamental, which, all right. So I will show you then what we need to do. So then we need to come down here. So what we're going to do is then we're going to throw this into a list, and then this has everything. And then we're going to throw this into a data frame. So we need to go and grab every single, we're going to go through each pickle file, move everything over, then throw it into a data frame. And we're going to extract what we want. So what we're going to look for is what I have found to be the most telling of the way that I look at things is we're going to pull the symbol, the net profit margin for the quarter, then the PE, then the PEG, PE ratio, PEG ratio, and the 52-week high. So those are all keys. So let's just see how far we get in this. So now we're gonna make a new list, empty list data. Let's bring this up here. And for file in files, then with open and file RB as file. I haven't written this one in a while. Then we're going to call this info. And we're just going to use keep our pickle, kl.load. And everything that we have done there is a video on each specific thing that I am talking about. That's why these are micro videos. All right, so now I'm going to pull all of my tickers, because then I'm going to go through, because each file has a key and I don't know exactly, so I'm going to pull these all out. So let's look at this. So tickers equals list info. Then I'm going to make my points of interest. And these are the keys that are here. So this is very specific. Symbols, then net. Here, I'm going to copy all this, because I know I'm going to type this wrong. And yes, you're correct. I don't like this. But, all right. I will have this down in the description below for you guys to look at. All right, let's move that back over. Points, then for ticker in tickers. For point in points, ticker.append info. Now check this out. I'm going to throw in ticker. Then this is always fundamental, because it's the first layer. Let me make sure I typed that right, so I'm going to cheat. Okay, did not. And then my point. Going to grab that out. Then my data, append each tick. All right. Okay, we did that in about 7.5 minutes. So I'm going through each pickle file, 500 symbols at a time of a returned. There we go. Of a returned fundamental of all of these market movers. Okay, all of these market datas right here. So you may like, and you might like different markers, so then you would have different points. That was why I decided to use the variable points. You might want to be looking at volume. I know I had a question not too many days ago about wanting to see change in volume. This has average daily volume, so I can show you how to merge and pull from different data frames. We'll be doing that very soon. But this is a great stopping point. We are about to merge and just dump this all. I wanted to do this right here. One last super important thing. So now I just realized. So if you do not do this, you will have your system overrun with files that just build up throughout the day. So now we need to throw out throughout the day or weeks. OS. So as we go through it, as we pull out all the useful information for us, we will then delete that file. Forgot that one last part. So cool. Got through all this. Then good. Okay. So now, like I said, we have a list of lists with this data right here. It's going to look just like that. And it is literally this simple right here. So now we need to make our column titles. So we're going to call those points. All right, and then literally it is just we're just going to copy this. Boom, right here. So this is what we're going to call them. This is what the keys are in the JSON response, but we're going to title them symbol, margin, PE, peg, and 52 high. So because we know what that is. And then literally it is this simple. Let's just start and go from here. So df results. Get this out of the way so you can see results. Then PD data frame. The F is capital just to, I always had a hard time with that. And up here, all the list of lists is data. Then we drop in, I might have to stare at this, I can't spell columns, and we get pass in points. Close that out. And literally, that is it. So let's run this, and as we can see over here, oops, I need to be right here, run this. And as that's going through, we can literally just see. But this is one of the neatest things that I have seen, that when I started learning to program, that now, because when I was doing it, as you can see, they're just building here. That before, I would put into my computer and have stuff come out on the screen. That was very cool. Now, then it got to the point where I'm now having criterion, and I'm going out and I'm touching another computer, and it's sending back information, and I'm in control of the information that I'm getting. And when I saw that, I thought I was hooked before, when all of these things were happening. But after this, it was no holds bar. So then now we're going to have these as they were building. So now they're going to go through. Now we're running through each of them and placing them in the list, and they will start now going away. Boom, there we go. Okay, and it's literally done. So now df results, and here I go. So now we don't need that. So now we slide over. So to remind you, the way that, if you've not seen any of the Pandas series, again, we'll try not to take that personally. You can go and see two playlists. One is a Pandas and one is a Pandas project. But the way that this is there's my index. Here's how big, this is a 5,289 rows by 5 columns. And what this automatically does is it prints out the head and the tail of the data frame, just so you can get an idea. And we'll go from here. We're going to be looking at how to slice a data frame with a Pandas series and with multiple series. So, all right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos. So as you can see, we're going through and we're pulling down our pickle files, and then we're going to then go through them, and we're going to then be building our data frame. And as you can see down here, we've dumped this in. So if you have not seen any of these other videos, there are 9, of course, and everything that we've done here before, there's been a micro video on, but this is going to be something new that we've done. So here's our standard that we have. I meant to delete this. So I have this is our standard. I know how to now slice with, we got data frame peg. So now this is going to be, so I've gone from my df results data frame, which has 5,288 down to 450. So I've gotten rid of, I've sorted out, I've sliced out a pretty significant amount. But the issue is I want to have a certain range of margin, a certain range of PE, a certain range of PEG that I care about. So there is a way that we've done a video on this, and so we know and, so we have the keyword, the condition and, but now we also learned about the bitwise operator, the and sign. So we have true and true, so true and false. So this is the technique that we're going to use to create what I prefer and what I have found over time is the best practice of how I sort. So we'll just go ahead and look at this. And it's going to look something just like this. So I have my results. So I'm going to do df. We're going to change this. df dot peg. We're going to change this out. And then just like normal, df results. And I'll show you how to do this. So then we open it up. Now, these are tuples, okay? So df results. Then we pass it in just like this is how we're passing in our multiple series. So then peg, just it's these over here. So capital, I have my peg capital, and then I have it. I want the peg ratio to be less than 1. So to remind you what the peg ratio is it is the PE ratio divided by growth. So if you have a PE ratio of 12, but you're growing at 12 times, your peg ratio will be 1. So you can have a high PE, but as long as you're growing at the same rate, you're basically back at 0. So that's why I like less than 1. So now, and then so we'll do this, and then df results, df results. I don't know why I capitalized that. So I want it between a range. So I want it greater than 0, but less than 1. So then peg again. Close that out. And also greater than 0, sorry. Greater than 0. Close this out. Another and. Then I want df results. And then margin. Then close this out, and I want you to be making a substantial amount of margin. So I have that as 20. Then another one, the last one is, I think this is the last one. Yeah. And then I want df results, and I want the PE to be greater than 10. And then I close this out. Then boom, let's see if I typed all this right. Nope. All right. So we're just going to copy this and I'll show you. Let's see. And I forgot some parentheses. So, all right. I knew this was a long shot. All right, so here. All right. So, yeah, I didn't wrap. So make sure each one of these is wrapped in a tuple. and going forward. So I think that's what I forgot right somewhere, right there. I didn't close that one out. So all right, so peg less than 1 and peg greater than 0 and margin greater than 20 and PE greater than 10. So then now let's check this out. Boom, 149 different companies that then I can examine. Are they healthy? And then there's ways that I sort this out, but this is a very good starting point for you. So there we go, guys. And we're going to be looking at 2 ways to view large data frames. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos, one video upon another, and we build upon it. So all right, so I'm going to show you one way I like to do it, so we can see the column names, and then I will show you another way that you guys will probably like, because you won't need to remember the column names, but I have a very short-term memory and I like to be reminded. So all right, so we're going to make a function, and basically it's going to be like a loop. Oops, sorry, I've been a little off today, so I can already feel that the typing is going to go. So basically we're going to kind of do looping through, but we're going to change this as the size of however large you have your little window right here. So we're going to go our start equals 0. Then stop is basically going to be the size. Then while stop, less than length of our df peg. Then I'm also going to show you how to sort in place. We've already done sorting by columns, but I'm going to show you in place and how it's going to give you maybe a little bit of what's going to look like an error, but it's not. df peg. Then we're going to go start, and then stop, close this out, then start becomes stop, and stop is incremented by size. And we could have changed this to and I misspelled view, and I haven't said this in a while, but this is not a spelling channel. And we could have used start and only done that once, but I've already committed to the stop. So df peg, and then one more time, start, stop, close, and close. So all right, let's run this, and it has another W. I apologize, everybody. Like I said, been a little off today. So all right, as we're going through this, you can see, wrong one. There we go. They are starting to build, and we're building our, but yes, if you are just joining, if this is your first video of the API, there are 10 previous, or no, today's 10. Today's 10, and well, now I want to check. Today's 11, and we're now touching, is it already done? It's already done. So now we have our results, which is everything, all 5288. Then our skimmed down, our sliced with all our conditions. Now it's today it's 150. So now right now when you type this in, you only have view. Let's see if 40 fit here. All right. Oh, okay. So it looks like, so the reason why I like this is I could have made it a little bit smaller, is the reason why I'm having this done in groups is so because I made the mistake one time where I go, okay, that was the peg, but right now this is not sorted. Ooh, we didn't sort it yet. So let's sort it. So we do df peg. Then we're sorting by, this is what we're going to sort. This is the method, sort value. Then we're going to sort it by, in ascending order, by peg. I want to know the lowest peg. Now you're going to see this and it's going to look like it's going to throw an error. It's values. I am so sorry, everybody, with all this wonderful typing. So now I have it in ascending order. And then, so now you don't have to rerun. The reason why I'm making a function out of this is you can do this so you don't have to run this script. You can toy with this, and then now you can go and view df peg, or if you wanted to do this and you change your data frames, you can add that. So this is why I like this. So let's change this to 35. And then now it fits right here, so I only have to remember just a little bit, then I have my reminder of my columns and I come through. Now, for those of you who have exceptional memories and do not need that reminder, there is a way. So we have, as we have here, we imported pandas as PD. So there is a function, pd.set option. Then we're going to be displaying all the rows. So display dot max underscore rows. So we want as many. So basically this is kind of arbitrary. You could set this to 10,000, but we know there's only 150. So I'm going to type in 200. So boom. So now I'm saying every data frame that I call right now, print them 200 at a time. All right. And then move on as a head and a tail. So this is going to encapsulate all of them, and our data frame is df.peg. So now I have all 150 at one time without any of the columns being reprinted. So there we go, guys. Two separate ways to view very large data frames. We have one more thing to do. We're going to be looking at the pandas data frame is in method. What this method is so very cool. Let's just go ahead and see. So if you've heard about join in SQL, I was about to type join. So we got our data frame peg. I forgot it's still set on all of them. So we have, and then also we have our all right, let's clear this out. And our data frame. All right. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is, let's say this information that I've screened is proprietary, and I don't want anybody to know about it. But let's just say I'm making a list, okay, and I have a newsletter and I'm sending these out, but I only want to give you the symbol, the company name, the sector, and the industry. But right now my data frame only has the ticker, and then let's see, what else did it have? So it has the PEG, the PE, the profit margin, and the 52-week high. That's all our original data frame had, or the one that we're most interested in. And let's see, yeah, that's still there. But our DF, so this is, oh yeah, because we have that only doing 200 at a time. So this is where this is in method comes to be. So I want to pass you this information. I don't want you to know the other information. So now I'm going to take, since there is a similarity, just like our join in SQL, we're going to use our symbol column, and our symbol column, and that's how we're going to associate. And then this data frame, only with this information will come out. So let's just go ahead and do this. So we need to pull out, it takes it as a list. So df symbols equals df peg symbol. Close this out. Then I'm going to put this into a list, because like I said, my is in method takes a list. So now I have from my df symbols. So boom, here's my list of tickers, and then I'm going to pass this into, all right, then I'm going to pass it into this. And this is going to make a Boolean just like all of our other series. So I pass this, and once you do this a couple times, it makes sense. So now this is my DF, my data frame is my data frame that has my symbol, my company name, my sector, and my industry. And that one was capital S, capital SY, and symbol. Close this out. Is in, then I'm going to pass it the list, and we call that df symbols. This is just like our indexing, just like this over here. So it's a little odd at first when you think about it, when you see it, but once you do it a few times, it makes a lot of sense. So now new, I just have true and false. So is it in or is it not? So then I pass this, and here's my new series, data frame. So then I'm going to pass this Boolean, just like if it's passing or failing, just like this scenario, just like here. Equals, then my data frame is my symbols, name, sector, industry. Then I pass it new, my Boolean. So now companies. So now here I go. Should have changed that setting. So now, unbeknownst to the recipients, they have no idea how I've come up with this list. All they know is that this list is highly qualified companies to move up higher. They don't know the criterion. That is, I keep that on my end, and there is no extra work. I don't have to touch. But this is a perfect example of how you would go through and use that API to check for anything moving that is perfect for what you deem is ideal for perfect movers. If you're interested in, I know I've gotten a question on volume. So you compare these two data frames to each other. And then you go the is in, and these data frames act exactly like tables, and you use the is in to do your joins. So there we go, guys.